Listen, we do want to bring you fun stories though. So we're
Yes.
going to switch gears a little bit and we're going to talk some fun. All right. So the WNBA has a lot of storylines in it, but history is one of them. All right. The Sun, the Connecticut Sun, that is, they are on the brink of history with a 9-0 start. And also, we'll talk about A'ja Wilson's history making game. But first, let's start with the Connecticut Sun. 9-0, best start in team history. It matches the 2017 Minnesota Lynx record. It also matches the 2001 and 2003 LA Sparks for fourth best start in league history. All right. So Minnesota currently holds the record for the best start in the WNBA with a historic 13-0 start in 2016. So 9-0, 13-0. They got a little ways to go, but we could be on the brink of history. All right. First of all, let's talk about this. We talk about the physicality in this league. We talk about the talent in this league. There's a lot of it on both things. This is impressive. 9-0 in a physical league and a talented league. What's going right for the Connecticut Sun right now?
I think their chemistry. Their
Okay.
chemistry is going right. When you watch anyone who has not watched a Connecticut Sun game this year, please
So good.
do your due diligence to watch them because
It hurts me to say it as a Liberty fan, but so good.
man, so good. So it's the chemistry and it's also the confidence. Like when you see them play, you're watching them and you're just like, they know they have this handled. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a beautiful thing to see. They had a fantastic end to, well, obviously the most fantastic end is winning the whole thing last year, but they had
Right.
a really good end to their season last year. And you can see that it's carried over. They've done the work in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
They've had some, key moving around parts. Like it's just a beauty in motion, really, to watch them
Mm-hmm.
play. And I fully expect for them to set a record. And
Wow.
I do.
You think they're gonna beat 13-0?
I do. I really do. I
Okay.
think for just the simple fact of from watching other teams that are all building and doing well as well. And obviously the
Mhm.
Aces are doing, we can go down the line of who is doing well and who isn't. But out of watching all of those, I just really feel like this team just has it locked in very early on, which is something that is hard to achieve and hard to do. So yeah, I mean, I would say I look to them to, if not even this record, just do great things this season. Definitely going in, I don't want to talk playoffs too early, but I
Mhm.
can see them really being a high contender in everything that they do this year. And it's really amazing to watch. I love watching them play.
Listen, you're not gonna like my segue, but I'm gonna say it anyway. From the best coast to the west coast. Okay.
Hey, I'm
We're
on the
gonna
West
talk
Coast, so we
listen,
ain't
East
mad.
Coast, Best Coast. You heard? Okay. So we're gonna talk aces right now. A'ja Wilson makes history, and we always talk about the goats, right? And listen, when we talk about the goats, it's kind of hard to not solidify her one already, even as currently a player. Usually the GOAT conversations reserved. I feel like for the most part, there's always exceptions. We talk LeBron and we talk Patrick Mahomes. I feel like they've already solidified themselves. Brady did it as well. I feel like Candace Parker did it as an active player. You always talk about goats and is there one goat, is there multiple goats, but when you look at what she's been able to do, and then we talk about this season particularly, she's the only player in WNBA history with a 35 point, 10 rebound and 5 steal game, right? This goes off of her 36 point, 12 rebound and 6 steal game. She's averaging to almost 28 points per game, first in the league, 12 rebounds per game, first in the league, and about almost 3 blocks per game, second in the league, right? So going back to that GOAT conversation, we talk Diana Taurasi, we talk Sue Bird, we talk, so many other women who've come through this league, Candace Parker, my GOAT. Um, is it too soon to crown her that in that same company? Or with everything she has done as an individual player with the Aces, we talk about her collegiate career. Is it safe to say that she's already in that company of the names and so many other women, Cheryl Swoops, and the list goes on and on, that we think about when we think GOATs?
Would she be in like the top 10 right now for me
Yeah, let's go ahead
personally?
and do top 10.
I,
Yeah.
honestly, no. I think there
Interesting.
are other players that I would put in that top 10,
Okay. Top
from
15.
all time. She
Top 20?
I don't she could be in the top 20 for
Okay.
me, I
So
would
for
say.
you, then when you
Uh,
talk top 20, when you talk top 15, and you talk top 10, what are the difference makers between those benchmarks that she would still have to hit for you to get into or break into top 15, top 10?
Honestly, I think for me, it's just time in the league. Not that she
Okay.
hasn't been in here for a while, but she just there's so much rich history and so many things that I would say like my top 15 would
Mhm.
have that would just put them ahead of her for me personally, right?
Mhm.
I mean, just the history of the league period. You could look at players that are in the Hall of Fame. You could look at what they've done for the sport. You could
Mhm.
look at there's so many different things.
Mhm.
I think she's done all of those things to a degree? Absolutely. Is she
Mhm.
doing it right now? She's killing. She is the best
Mhm.
player in the WNBA right now, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if we're talking right now,
Mhm.
she's my number 1,
Well, yeah, current
currently.
players in the league, of
But of
course,
all
definitely,
time,
right.
I just don't think I can say that, right?
So it's
I just I
interesting. So
can't.
for you, it's not because I always find this interesting, right? Because everyone has a different definition of GOAT. And whenever these conversations arise, some people say, oh, it's, Brady has this many rings and he doesn't have this many, so he's not in the conversation. For some people, it's very championship heavy, right? For some people, because the GOAT is greatest of all time and it's very individual, for them it's individual records, scoring records, and obviously rings are in the conversation, but also a lot of individual records. And then there are some people like you who takes into consideration individual records, takes into consideration championships, but also takes into consideration impact, and how have you impacted the league, and how have you changed the league, and how have you grown the league, how have you helped, elevate the league. And those things, for the most part, come with time, right? And
Yes.
not everybody is, a Candace or a Caitlin, and they come in and they have shoe deals right off the bat, and they have, deals with Wilson basketballs and stuff. That those are anomalies. We can't even use those as an example. For the most part, a lot of what you're able to accumulate comes with time. So I always find it interesting what everyone's individual benchmark is. So I'll give you this question too then. So let's say, I don't know, 10 years from now,
Mhm.
it could be more, it could be less. I don't have a crystal ball. But let's say 10 years from now and she retires. Doesn't have any more championships, didn't win anymore, which is probably unlikely with the Aces, let's be honest. But let's just play this game. Um, she doesn't win anymore. She doesn't win any more MVPs, any more DPOYs, but she has completely elevated the WNBA to a completely just out of this world level amongst and along with so many other women in the league. Does that then crack her into the top 10, even though as an individual and as a player, she hasn't done anything more than she has done in this moment in time right now?
Yeah, I mean, I see her on my overall list. She's climbing every day, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I know she's going to be in my top 10 if not my top 5. Asia
Mhm.
Wilson is a fantastic player who is already in a lot of respects a legend and will be
Mhm.
legendary by the time that she is done.
Mhm.
But if I'm like I said, just right now as we sit here, I can't
Mhm.
say that because there are a lot of players that have affected the league and my life and also achieved in so many different ways. And I think out of paying respect,
Mhm.
I'm not saying she would because she's definitely a competitor and she's going to talk
Mhm.
her stuff about herself, which she should.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
for me, yeah, she's going to be there. She's for in my opinion and how I hold the players, she will be there for me. It's just going to take some more time to e- even be able to have a chance to get the accolades that a lot of these women have
Mhm.
and make the impact that they have, you know?
I actually agree with you, and I thought it was like a hot take for me to feel this way. So I'm glad that you share the same sentiments, because I'm thinking about it right now, and I wrote down, like, just off the top of my head, some of my top players, of all time. Obviously, you know how I feel about Candace Parker, so that goes
Yeah.
without being said. For me, it's like Sue Bird, it's Diana Taurasi, it's Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, our very own Lisa Leslie, Maya Moore, Cynthia Cooper. I also have Tamika Catchings on this list. Like, for me, there are just so many women you have to consider, like you said, over so many different decades and so many different changes of the league, that it's hard to overlook them just off of like recency bias and just off of like what's happening right now. I think I would even start putting, if we expanded it outside of the 10 and let's say did a top 15 and we included like current players, for me, and this may be a hot take, I would even currently put Brianna Stewart over her. If we talk about time in the league, if we talk about looking at it not only WNBA or maybe like neck and neck, like for me, Brianna Stewart, and maybe I'm biased being a Liberty fan, is in my top 15. Like for me, she's there already solidified. For some, may not be the case, but for me, Brianna's there more than Asia's there. I don't know if that's a crazy take. That's just how I feel about it.
No, and I mean, if you look at what Brianna Stewart has accomplished in her
Mhm.
years that she's been here, and I don't even know if we're bringing college into this because that's a whole nother thing, right?
Throw 'em up.
But Brianna Stewart is she's definitely without a doubt for me with everything that she's accomplished
Yeah.
in my top
I mean,
10 for
two-time
sure.
champion, MVP, two-time finals MVP, rookie of the year, commissioner's cup champion. I mean, two-time all WNBA first team, two-time all defensive team. I mean, there's a lot to consider. And then also to your point, time in the league,
Yeah,
roughly,
and
So
you didn't even mention DT. I mean,
no, I did. I said Diana
oh, did you
Taurasi.
say her? Sorry,
Yeah,
I
I put
didn't
her in
hear
there.
it because
Girl, I
I
did
mean,
not
she's dropping
listen,
30
Diana
right now.
Taurasi will beat me up. I did not forget
Yeah,
her.
okay, my bad, Ashley. But she dropping 30 in the league right now, you know what I'm
Like,
saying?
she's
So
17. I honestly was like, I said to someone the other day, I was like, yo, what does she put in her smoothies? Like, I need
I'm
to start taking that because she's running back the clock instead of which is hilarious because when you there are some men in the league right now who are about Diana Taurasi's age, right? They don't look like that. Like they're not doing what she's doing. So like I don't like for people who may not be like avid WNBA watchers, like that's the best comparison I can give them is like look at somebody in their 40s or close to in the NBA and I want you to compare it to what Diana Taurasi is doing right now, not even in stat line because I feel like stats sometimes don't tell the whole story in the actual way that she's playing. Like watch how she's getting the stat line. It's like watching her 15 years ago. Like it doesn't make any sense. I am in awe. I have
yeah.
listen.
DT, send us the code. We
Right.
need some details.
Is it like a protein powder or a collagen mix? Just like let me know. I need it. Um
I'll start yesterday.
yeah, no, I'll bathe in it. Like I'll start showering with it. I'll mix it in my bath bombs or whatever I need to do. Just bottle it up. It reminds me of everyone's seen Space Jam with the secret stuff, MJ secret stuff in the water bottle. Yeah, it's unreal.